The club's need for a key forward has been much talked about in the media. What are our chances of securing one in the trade period, do you think?
Oh, key forwards are hard to get, and we've got some good young players coming through, but it's also hard to get experienced players. So at this stage I don't think we'll get an experienced key forward through the trading period.
Okay. And are you confident that we'll be able to hold on to the players who have expressed interest to be traded to clubs outside of Queensland?
Well, the great unknown is, look, we've only had one player expressed interest in leaving who's in contract, and that's Jack Redden. So we'll decide as we go, but ultimately Jack's a contracted player, so at any time we can hold Jack to his contract.
So as you've said, he has expressed interest to leave, with West Coast being the club of choice. What would the Lions be hoping to achieve for a trade if it was made?
The best possible outcome for the Brisbane Lions is all I ever can answer to what's the compensation we'll get. Right at the moment, yeah, there's a couple of clubs that have shown some interest, West Coast in particular, but we'll just be looking for the best possible outcome. If we do decide to trade, we'll be looking for the best outcome we can get, be that draft picks or maybe some potential players coming in.
And what's the status of Leuenberger?
Well, Louis is a free agent, and you know, I think it's clear that Louis is looking at his options. I don't, you know, I would say to you now that Louis won't be with the Lions next year. We're not quite sure where he's going at the moment, but that's something that he's investigating with his management, so I can't really add much more than that.
Will the club be looking to recruit another ruckman to add to our stock?
Yeah, I think it makes sense for us to look at a ruckman, and probably someone with some experience, mainly because you know, I think we do need that extra depth in that part of the ground. So I can't tell you who that'll be because you know, it's a great unknown, but we are certainly looking in that area.
Now the academy bidding process is quite complex. Are you able to give us like a basic overview of how it really works in the draft?
Yeah, well, the bidding process now has changed for this year, so we get 20% discount on a point system. So that's a bit of a, and the points align with the draft pick. So because we've got two boys we're very keen on in the academy and we think they'll go reasonably early, then that's going to cost us, if you like, draft picks. Not as high as we would have to pay normally if they were just in the draft, but certainly we'll have to find some draft picks to make sure we can get those deals done. So we don't know. The great unknown again with this whole period of time, and particularly with the academies, is who else will bid on the players.
Yep. And so, just on that, we recruited a number of young Queenslanders through the Hyundai Help for Kids Lions Academy last year. How do you rate the pool of talent that's this year?
Oh, I think the Lions Academy is producing some really good players. You know, Eric Hipwood and Ben Keys are probably the two highest ranked players, but there's some other good talent through there who I don't want to elaborate on, but we think there's a fair bit of depth in the academy, and I think we'll find a few players, may not all be with us, but might be spread out through the competition.
Okay. And so, lastly, the Lions have shown a fair bit of interest in young key forward John Shockey. What can you tell us about him?
Well, Josh is a really big lad. He's a 198 centimetre player who's very capable. He's a very good mark. He's mobile. He's a beautiful kick. But again, he's only 18. We think he's going to be a great long-term prospect. We hope that with our first selection, which is pick 2, that we might be able to select him, because we don't know yet, because Carlton have first pick and they may be interested in him as well. But if he gets through, I could see that he'd be a long-term key position player for the Brisbane Lions.